What's up, guys? Alright, so pardon the angle of how this is going to go, but that's what I got for the moment. This is going to be an overview / review and my take on the Shivworks clinch pick and the corresponding trainer that you can get. So let's go over some specs here real quick. Unfortunately, this knife is made in China. I think they're being shipped out of Taiwan now. But designed here in America. There are some USA versions, but for the everyday buyer, for the cheaper set of them, going to be made in China / Taiwan. But both versions, whether it's the overseas or the USA made, you're going to get a 2-inch blade, a very robust stock, G10 handles, a lanyard pin, which for me has no use, but I never use lanyards besides on certain things like compasses and GPSs. Knives, not so much. But the Shivworks snake, you will notice on this that the blade is actually backwards. So the idea behind this is this knife has, for the most part, one use, and that is as a defensive blade. It is not a utility blade, although you can use it as a utility blade, but for how you're going to carry it, how you're intended on using it, it's a defense knife. Very short, stubby handle, but that allows you, you'll see when I stand up here and put it in the sheath, to get just a very secure grip in the palm, because that is the intention of how you're going to use this. Is you're going to unsheath it in a fist type grip and attack to get somebody off of you, or to get somebody off of your weapon. So I'll stand up here and I'll show you how you carry it. Obviously you can carry it how you want, but this is how I carry it. There's a sheath that tucks in behind the belt. It's kind of a appendage type carried, but instead of being above the waist, it's just below, and it kind of fits in this crease of your body. And then as long as you're wearing a cover garment, for the most part, it fades away. And then when you need to get to it, either you retrieve your garment, or if you're fighting with somebody, you fish for it, you can get to it. The idea of it is that when you're tangled up with somebody, and either they're drawing a weapon or they're going for your weapon, or you just, situation dictates that you're getting your ass whooped and you need to get out of it. The idea is for you to be able to access it, and even if this hand is pinned, moving your hips can get the blade out. And the idea of having it on the reverse side, I'll let you switch to the trainer. So it comes with, you can get it with a trainer, identical sheath, and pretty identical blade. Obviously, it's red and has the holes in the blade to dictate that it's a trainer. And I'll go into, at the end of this, I'll go into some differences between these style trainers and a foam type trainer knife. Because, in my opinion, they should be used for two different applications. This, just remember, the blade's on this end. It might not entirely fit in this one because it's a little bit tighter, but The idea is when you draw the blade, having the blade facing you allows you to make cuts. It'd be easier if I had someone here to demonstrate, but it makes it easier to cut. So if someone has you in a wrist grab, let's say, if the blade's on this end, I have to turn my hand to cut. Versus if it's on this end, I just have to arch my wrist back and stab or slice. They're also making these now in a double edge, which legalities might have an issue with that. Like around here, we can't have a double edged knife. I'll see if I can find a partner at some point and do a little bit of a demonstration of actually how this is a fairly unique and advantageous style to have a blade as if you're using it as a defensive knife. There's thousands of different styles of knives, whether it's a typical traditional pocket knife of any sort, clip point, drop point, spear point. You got your hawk bills and karambits, you got your daggers, you got your yeah, that'd be about it really for common blade shapes that people would carry. They make a few different versions of knives. They got this clinch pick. They have what's called the Disciple. They have El Nino, I think it's called, where it's a push dagger. Something you would carry maybe behind your pistol. And if someone's going for your pistol, you could draw that. A lot of different options you can get to. I'll link the website below. I tend to carry this knife when I'm going out for a while and I'll be in public for a while. It's not something I carry if I'm just going to a store or just making one stop here or there. If I'm going out for the day, I'll carry this along with my firearm. Now, lately I've been carrying appendix from my firearm. This, if I'm going to carry this and a gun, my gun will be on my hip. This will be up here. Because I don't like having a bunch of shit right here. And I already don't like carrying things here, but I'm getting used to it. If you want to carry this and your gun, you just got to toy around and figure out what works for you. But now if we're going into types of trainers. So like I said, there's the metal trainers that are typically designed for if you're getting whether it's a pocket knife or a Fitz blade, for whatever defensive type knife you're going to be carrying, they're going to make the trainer fairly similar to the live blade. The idea is you can train your draws, you can have a partner or a heavy bag, and you can practice drawing and going for a cut. You can practice different things. I'd recommend that more on a heavy bag or a dummy versus person-to-person training. Obviously, this is if this is all you got, then just be careful with it. But the idea of this, if you're training with a partner, would be working your disarms, working your draw to contact. This is not something you would use at full speed, full power against another human being in training, because this has no give to it. If you poke somebody with this is going to hurt. Versus trainers that are rubber or plastic that have some flexibility to them, like this next level training training knife. Supposed to mimic a very similar pocket knife to what most people carry, but the blade is rubber. So you can go full speed and cut and slice and do what you want to do with a partner. And this is not going to hurt anybody. So rubber knives for actual sparring type training. Your replica type metal knives for disarm training or work in a bag. Because I've done some knife training over the years, and getting poked with a training knife is not fun, because I've been on the receiving end once or twice. I'm trying to think what I paid. So for this and the trainer and the two sheaths and whatnot, I believe, off the top of my head, it's either 100 or 150 bucks. So they're pretty well made for the price. They stay sharp. Obviously, I haven't really used this for anything at all, so I haven't had to sharpen it. Hopefully I'll never have to use it for what it's intended for, but it's made of a Sandvik steel, which I find very adequate for a lot of things. It's pretty similar to like a 154 CM. But that's the Shivworks clinch pick.